What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, y'all? Peace. It's Mutant Monday. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is the sixth element of hip hop. We got Stu Dog and Raw Talk in the house. What's good, y'all?
Peace. What's happening?
Salute. Slade Wilson, Norin Rad, peace. Mike Hags, what up?
Mike Hags, peace.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's Mutant Monday. Why is it Mutant Monday? Because we said so.
Mike Hags. Okay.
Word. We just talking about mutants and everything mutant and everything X-Men and all of that good stuff with the new X-Men 97 show coming out and all of that. It's I felt pertinent to get into the X-Men, to get into the mutants and talk about them.
Cool.
Yeah, man. It's been crazy with the X-Men 97, man. I don't want to go into it too far, but yeah, there's a lot of fan backlash going on right now. Fans are really finding some of the decisions that they're making to be on the woke side, and some people feel like they're ruining it. But listen, yo. Oh, that's a nice pickup. Nice pickup.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
You know, okay. Like, yes, I'm pissed too because Rogue's titties and ass. But listen, I'm not gonna cry about a cartoon's titties and ass. I've seen these guys getting like really pissed about it. It's like it's a cartoon. I don't give a fuck if it has titties and ass. Like, not that much. Like, okay, yeah, but like I'm not like but yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. And the thing with Morph, honestly, it's Morph. He is non-binary. He is whatever he wants to become. He's nothing until he becomes something. So I'm not super mad at Morph being a non-binary character. Here's the thing, and here's why we're talking X-Men too, because it is the X-Men. What is the X-Men known for? What are they all about? Diversity, inclusion, civil rights, social justice. That's what the X-Men have always been about. So if you're really a fan of the X-Men, you're really a fan of the X-Men, the animated series, the original, and the comics, and what they were invented for, and what Stan Lee created them to be, then they're just talking about the current social issues. That's what they've always done. Making some of the choices and decisions they've made recently just seem to be something that they couldn't do back in the 60s or 70s or 80s. It's something that, especially with the LGBT stuff, that's definitely something they could not have done back in the day. The lead director is LGBT representative, pushing into the show. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, it's not that big of a stretch. It's X-Men. At least they didn't change the show to the X people or some shit.
People.
Right. Because there was talks of that. I mean, we were hearing rumors that they were going to drop the X-Men name and just call it the Mutants or some bullshit.
Yeah, but they already had the movie The Mutants, so that's kind of like
New Mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, they like I said, man, at least they're still called the X-Men. But
yeah,
nobody wants to see agendas overshadowing stories, politics being more important than comics when we're talking about a fucking the X-Men. I mean, obviously we don't want it to overshadow the X-Men and stuff like that. But when you're talking X-Men,
Mm.
go back and look at what the X-Men have always been about. That's what they've always done. They've always talked about the racial inequality, minority, I mean anything, immigration. They've touched all these topics that are considered woke now or left. It's like, woke when it's the Avengers or something, it doesn't make any sense. But honestly, when it's X-Men, it scares me because it kind of makes sense, and so it scares me that they're gonna just go nuts with it and just over the top and go too much with it. Which that I hope they don't do. But even if they just keep it X-Men and status quo, you're gonna find a lot of people saying, "Oh, they're being woke. They're oh, it's go." What do you think X-Men has been about? Like,
Mm.
if you're just watching the movies and stuff, you might not have caught that. But if you read the comics and you watched, the X-Men the animated series, you saw, yeah, muties were like that. That was like the N-word. That
Yeah,
was like you know what I'm saying? That was the racial epithet. That was they did that. They incorporated that into the comics. That was big in the comics.
yeah.
So like, yeah, these fans, these people that are crying about this, they're probably just fans of the movies. They probably never got into the comics or the original cartoon, because if you watch the original cartoon,
They
they
had
touch
it
on all
into
of it.
it.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely did. Especially like Days of Future Past and stuff like that. I mean, all those shows, all those X-Men stories, that's what they were all about. They were all about the mutants being oppressed, and basically they would make up these factions, like these the what was one of their names? I'm trying to think real quick. The not the Reavers. The Reavers was a squad too, but um there was like there's these religious factions that were sort of like
That
stand-ins for the Klan or something like that. Like, it was
mhm.
like clearly like representing the KKK or the skinheads or whatever movement or whatever right-wing militia or, nationalist white supremacist uh squad groups, and they just replaced them with anti-mutant groups.
Yeah.
This is all that, everything was all anti-mutants, that was this it was paralleling civil rights and, racial attacks and all of that. Stryker's followers, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Follow.
Um, yeah, Stryker was the leader of it, and he had a crew. God, I can't think of their name right now. Somebody help me. But anyway, they were like a religious group at one point, against mutants. They all had their reasons. They all had their sort of excuses why, mutants were, the scourge of the earth, and they had to be wiped out,
Mm.
mirroring everything that all those racist groups would say, so X-Men is that one IP that the sort of the woke stuff actually makes sense. And if it's done right, if it's done with some form of like restraint, right? Don't go nuts. Don't go super duper nuts with it. Um, you know,
Mm.
I don't want you to go super duper overboard.
For real. Just enjoy the cartoon as it is, man. And after the series finish, if you feel like you don't want to continue in it, don't. I mean, everybody got a choice to watch and not watch. You own your own eyes. They don't. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's it. That's true.
So I'm always at the point where if I really don't like it, I ain't even gonna. It's no need. for me to even get in tune with it.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If it's not for
Don't
you,
watch it. Yeah.
don't get down with it. But my thing is, remember, this is the X-Men. So like this stuff isn't that crazy like for the X-Men, that's what they're all about, So like those certain those certain ideas and shit, those are very X-Men ideas. Those are very X-Men centric themes that fit perfectly, with the X-Men. The X-Men are not just an action sci-fi like action squad. No, they were political as fuck.
Yeah. And then even the villains, if you look at it, some of the villains, like Mr. Sinister,
A
he's like
geneticist.
he's like uh Planned Parent.
Eugenics, eugenics and shit.
Great
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
eugenics.
geneticist. He's a
Yeah,
geneticist. Yeah.
yeah. So you look at his angle, Then you look at what you call it, what's his name? Damn, Magneto. He's just like, yo, he's like the wild Malcolm
He's
X.
Malcolm X. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I gotta protect my people by any means. We're gonna survive by any means, you know. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's well thought out as when Stan Lee and and the stories came about, it was well thought out. It reflected the times during that time as well. Because you think
Yeah.
about Black Panthers and stuff like that. I mean, you can even look at the characters like the Black Panther,
Right.
Luke Cage, got characters like that. But then the mutants, he was like, all right, I'm gonna get everybody with this one. He had all nationalities, and he had an Irish person in it, which was Banshee.
Hmm.
He had a Japanese person, which was what's his name?
Sunfire.
Sunfire. Come
It's on
on, you had
fire. Yeah.
Africa
Yeah.
represented in
Yeah.
Storm.
Colossus
So
was Russian. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
so you
Wolverine,
had
the Canadian. You
Canadian,
had the Native
Yeah. Yeah.
American. Yeah.
Native
Spirit.
American,
Storm was African.
Yeah. He
yeah,
said. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you
No. They.
can't get mad they was doing social justice back then, regardless.
Big time.
Shit.
Big
I
time.
mean, and even in everything we play with, even with the GI Joes, that's all the same. It's the same stuff. It's just now it's out there because people don't want to. I mean, back in the day, we were gradually learning. Now this is
Right.
just forced and pushed on people so fast that they're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to accept it. You've been
Yeah.
accepting it, but at a slower pace. It's just
Mhm.
now you just don't want it rammed down your throat. You already know it. It's like if
Mhm.
somebody's telling you something you already know, you're like, come on with this shit. But
Yeah.
for the most part, man, just enjoy the cartoon. Keyword cartoon.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, for real, it's a good, yeah, exactly. It's a cartoon. It's a fun show. Um, you know, and it's a sort of rebirth. It's a revisiting of of, in my opinion, the best Marvel animated show of all time. One of my favorite cartoons of all time. Um, it really stood the test of time. You can go back and watch it all the time because it's comic accurate. It's just, you know, rehashing comic stories right out of the comics, just so like accurately. Is just dope, man. And it was something I felt that was just very convenient, like for a kid that, if you couldn't really get to the comic stores, or you couldn't afford to buy hella comics or read all the comics, you can go on and watch X-Men the animated series and get all those stories. You know what I mean? Like, you can learn all the shit. You can learn so much about the X-Men just by watching that cartoon. And that cartoon is unique for that,
Mm.
because other cartoons about certain characters or whatever, you're not really going to learn much about their lore, about their backstories, about, anything. You're not going to get none of the comic stories out of it. You're going to get all these new made up stories, and, you'll only get what they tell you. But this show was telling you what was in the comics
Mm.
for real, so you could really get your history down and shit like that.
Claremont's visions as well. Yep, his stories definitely.
Claremont's stories, yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, Claremont is definitely like the godfather of the X-Men. Um, Blunt raps, smoke a Dutch master, have him screaming for the Duchess. Oh yeah.
Nigga, we
Hey,
smoke weed. Am I late?
yeah, I'm
What up,
too old
Bush?
for all
Hey,
that, man.
what's happening,
Damn, I'm
man?
like,
I'm
what
all
up,
about
Stu?
I'm all about
What
What
up?
convenience,
up,
What up?
man.
Stu? Hey,
Blood
team,
Jet,
how we
welcome.
doing? I'm out. I'm out. I don't know nothing about the X Men like that, man. I like Gambit, and maybe that's just a little bit of everybody. Let's get it.
Word, word.
All the X-Men is dope.
Oh yeah.
Because it's somebody for everybody, It's
Yeah,
somebody
that's some
for
real
everybody.
shit. That's some real shit. That's some
So
real
now the
Well,
shit.
thing, hopefully
here's a
Professor X
tip
find it,
for you.
Landry.
Well,
Hold
here's a
on,
tit
Stu.
for tat for
Hold
you
on,
since
Stu.
we
Before
on.
you
Oh,
get on now, I
go
want to
ahead.
tell Nora. Uh, at the end of X-Men the animated series, because yeah, I think he even did meet
Oh
Lilandra in that
he
show.
but he disappeared. No. He remember he disappeared. Or he left for
Well,
didn't he leave in a ship or something like that? I gotta
Yeah,
watch it
yeah,
again.
yeah. When he went off with
Yeah, I got
Lilandra,
didn't
he
he
did. But at the end of
he got married. He got married to Lalandra. Him and Lalandra got married and he left, I think, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was the
Yeah, Reno, no
priest.
man. I don't know everything, man. Reno, the educator on this one.
Well,
So
she
look up.
well he dies. They left in space. But so yeah, he died. At the end of X-Men the animated series. So when the new X-Men
Right.
97 show starts,
They
Professor
pick up
X
from
is
there.
dead.
Right.
Magneto is like the one running the school now. He's taking Professor X's place in a way. And the thing with Magneto, being a good guy or being on their squad, I mean, listen, like Raw Talk was saying, Magneto was just Malcolm X. Magneto has always been down with mutants. He was never an enemy to the mutants. He was never an enemy to the X-Men. He was Charles Xavier's best homie from back in the day.
Hell
yep,
They
yeah, that's what I was saying. That one show we was talking about when I first joined. I'm like, yo, I'm like, okay. I was like, you got one bro he's going more of a more holy route with it. He's trying to like, hey, let's all come together. We can help y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have to experiment on us. We can help y'all. And then Manny was like, no, fuck that, motherfucker. We got powers and humans don't. So we just gonna, no, you gonna kill you like you kill us. It's just two different sides of the tracks getting to the same goddamn goal. Really?
basically,
So
yeah,
who was
Yeah.
wrong? They
And then
yeah,
wrong?
speaking of
Magneto was wrong.
and then speaking of
they're not wrong,
diversity, you gotta remember Eric was also Jewish. He was also
right?
born Jewish. He survived the Holocaust. Like
yep,
he had a lot of things that made
Oh
him the
hell
way he
no, he
was.
was Jewish.
Like
Damn.
people don't really realize the reason why he was the way he was is because he survived
Yeah,
the Holocaust. He was
he
yeah,
Jewish.
saw
He
his
was all
parents
being
killed. Yeah,
persecuted, right, for being Jew, and then he was like, "Well, now I'm a mutant. I guess y'all gonna persecute me for that." So he pulled no punches when it came to mutant kind and his kind because he saw it. You got to remember it was kind of embedded on him in the Nazi concentration camps.
yeah,
Like
right,
they presented themselves as being superior to them, and then he was like, "Well, wait a minute." I ain't superior to me. I'm superior to y'all. So he
right.
actually got that from them. He actually honed that whole identity and that attitude from them, and it
Yeah,
showed in his life. That's the thing
yeah.
people miss when they speak about Magneto is that
And
he
Malcolm
was
X,
just a man.
he's like
Malcolm X,
Malcolm in
yeah.
that way.
He's
Malcolm
yeah.
said the
He's like
same shit.
Malcolm that way, yeah. Yeah, he went through so much stuff being persecuted for his for his gen, not his gen, his
Race.
race that he
yeah,
just basically he just basically imprinted it on everybody else.
yeah.
Hmm. So and Magneto, man. So the way this whole shit is going on right now with the mutants and Krakoa and the way everything turned out. I mean, while the X-Men have been fighting, Magneto for decades, right?
Yeah.
But turns out he was
It
right
won't from the
all along.
jump. It won't from the jump. It won't from the jump. There's a whole story about when him and X parted ways and how they parted ways. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that wasn't our fight. So what the fuck were we judging? We getting to the same road. Sorry, they took different avenues. They got different lives. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him and Professor X were down. Yeah, and but it turns out, right, he had his theory on, how it should be, and mutants should have their own nation, and be separate from the humans and have their own sovereign government and all of that, which is all the same shit Malcolm X was kicking. Early before he went to Mecca and saw that everybody was there, all the races were there, and then he
Yeah.
realized that it wasn't all about that. But early Malcolm X is what Magneto was on. But
Mm.
in this world, Magneto was right. He was right. In many ways, the Krakoa era proves it. He's down with Charles Xavier and Moira McTaggart, and Magneto worked tirelessly to promote the creation of a mutant state, of a mutant sovereign nation.
Exactly. Exactly. Mutants, a mutant against mutant. It was people again. It was the same people that they was doing it. They're just, you know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah,
got to the
and so
same goddamn road in the end and was happy.
exactly, and
Mm.
in doing so, he became a co-founder of this mutant nation, Krakoa, where it's their own country, they're sovereign. All other global governments recognize them as an official, as a real government, in the UN and all of that, and basically mutants can now live freely there and without the threat of human provocation, without any worrying about being oppressed or any of that, right? They run shit.
Yeah.
Did they cure
And
disease with like this with earth plants and shit? Cause aren't they? And what they born? Ain't everybody born on the same planet, right? We didn't say from another planet, are they?
what's that?
Mutant, like in the stories, like or like they just born that way, like you know what I'm saying. And then like yeah, mutants aren't. I mean, like a mutant doesn't mean that. You know what Magneto was trying to say? Like mutant doesn't automatically mean evil. Is that what it says?
No,
No,
I get what she's saying. I get what she's saying.
yeah,
Look,
Yeah,
if you're
you
born
born just like
mutants, you're born
everybody else.
right. You're born like everybody else, but you have a mutant. You have a gene, a genome that makes you a mutant. So you
right,
have abilities that Homo sapiens don't. So like Magneto would refer to him as Homo superior. So
yeah,
Homo superiors have a gene that gives them abilities that regular humans don't. So they are the next step of evolution as far as he's concerned of humans. Apocalypse said that he is to mutants what mutants are to humans. He's the next stage of evolution of mutant,
mm,
and that's where
almost
they're not born.
superior.
The only ones, yeah, right. The only ones born in space or were born in space were the Inhumans.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Inhumans.
yeah, and so during this era, man, yeah, and Magneto, he's done this a bunch of times. Like they've had these little nations and stuff like that in the past, but Magneto's efforts in Krakoa were not a change of strategy, right? Genosha, Asteroid M,
Yeah.
the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants were all prototypes of the Krakoan experiment that we saw manifest with Krakoa. And the success of the Krakoan era, proves that the X-Men never should have been fighting Magneto ever. He should have always been. They should have always been like, nah, like we just two sides of the same coin. You got your way, we got our way. Let's work together, and you do your thing, we'll do ours, and we'll help. It could have been beautiful, but while now it is, and while the X-Men have compromised their ideals a lot, Magneto has remained morally consistent since the day he first attacked humanity. Right?
Yep.
He's always had his same, and with the help of the X-Men, Magneto's previous nations might have, been able to thrive, as well as Krakoa did if they had been down with him. Now this is the first time X-Men and Evil Brotherhood of Mutants had come together. Everyone is on Krakoa, regardless of what side of you used to be on. If you're mutant, your family kind of thing. And
Mm.
today, well, right now Krakoa is fucked, but when it was when it was tight, it protected a lot of the Earth's mutants. Is not always available for them. But even while planning for Krakoa, Magneto has definitely attempted other mutant states. You know what I'm saying? The first on panel appearance, I guess, of a separate nation for mutants was X-Men #5, right? The early first run. Before even ever facing the X-Men, Magneto had already developed a fully functional asteroid that could serve as a secret base for the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Asteroid M, right? And the Brotherhood could scheme secret plots against the world, as they developed ways to free Earth's mutants. Because remember, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants were never out to like rob banks and take over the world, right? They were never those kind of villains. They were out to free mutants. They were
Yeah.
out to, what I'm saying? What do you call it? Uh
They were
liberate
the, they were
liberate mutants.
Yeah, but
Liberate.
yo, if no matter what your mission is, you gonna die. Sometimes you can be like, fuck it. This is what you want? All right. So I'm a criminal, so I'm gonna go do some criminal shit. Like, fuck it. If no matter what I do, you know what I mean? So I feel it. That's some real shit.
I think the brotherhoods of evil mutants are like just like the Black Panthers. They're like, look, you persecute our people, we coming at you. We coming for you. We're breaking you out of prison. We're making it happen, And
Basically.
and you remember that first movie, the X-Men movie that came out. So it's like whenever you seen Magneto in him and Sabretooth and stuff like that, I always thought they was on asteroid M even then.
Oh wow.
Mm.
The way it was made, like it looked like a
Yeah.
cave they was in. So I
Right.
always thought to myself, "Oh, they on asteroid M." You know what I mean?
Man, if Hollywood was dope.
Yeah,
If it
right.
Well,
was,
wait a minute. So at one point, the X-Men they came down on so hard they had to leave the planet. Why? I don't know nothing about that. So the X-Men, what they was in outer space? I don't understand. What would you say about that?
yes,
Nah,
the X Men do go to outer space.
Then
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
had to leave.
And they spend a lot of time. They spend a lot of time in space. They find
But
out that Scott
Asteroid
Summers'
M,
dad is an
but
alien.
we
He's an alien.
but we
yeah,
talking about Asteroid M is the
Oh,
Brotherhood's base.
Asteroid N. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Oh
their
my
That
base.
was
bad.
the
I
Yeah,
heard.
Brotherhood's
I
Magneto.
base.
wasn't even paying attention,
Yeah,
and I heard asteroid, and
yeah,
I was like, "What the
yeah.
fuck you mean asteroid? What's that
But didn't
mean?"
they have another name? Didn't they have another name for that asteroid? If I'm not mistaken, was it, or was it always
Nah,
just Asteroid M?
It was
that was
all,
Asteroid M.
yeah,
There's currently right now the mutants ironically they're on Mars. Okay,
yeah,
right now the mutants are on Mars. They're pretty much all there except for like a few of the X-Men that Professor X taught how to defend against, like to block his mind control. They stayed because basically he sent out a mind control that told all the mutants to go to Mars because this corporation called Orcus that destroyed Krakoa and has persecuted and attacked the mutants had forced him to do that, and so he sent all the
But
ones that he could control to go to Mars. But the X-Men that he trained to defeat against that, they stayed on Earth and they're like sort of underground. They're
yeah,
underground, hiding out and doing their thing on the low.
yeah, yeah.
But the X-Men eventually destroyed Asteroid M. But that didn't mean the end of Magneto's efforts to create a prototype for Krakoa. There would be several versions of Asteroid M over the years, but none would ever achieve Magneto's dreams of independent, mutant country, sovereign nation that he really was trying to do. And Magneto eventually reclaimed the island nation of Genosha from
Mhm.
humanity. If you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of Genosha.
Yeah,
They did talk about
Marriage
Genosha in the
asteroid.
movies. Yeah, so they did talk about it in the movies. It's been in a bunch of games and stuff too.
and it's
Um,
different versions of that Genosha in a sense.
yeah.
Like
Well,
the
But
one from
Genosha is actually Asteroid M when it fell to Earth.
say what?
Well, remember Asteroid M fell to Earth at one point, and
I don't
then
know.
they
I
lived
thought it
there
was
and
a
they
clever
called it
name.
yeah, they called it something else. It was called Mutant Nation or something like that. They called it something. I can't
You
get the
know,
name, bro. It's on the
it's fucked
tip
up.
of my tongue, bro. But
Well, let me
I
know.
remember.
Yeah, let me know if you find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me look for it now. Hold on.
Because Genosha in the movies, when you first really hear about it, is from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. I
You
think
know,
they talked about Genosha in X-Men 3, Rise of the was it, not Rise of the one with Phoenix, the first one with
oh,
Phoenix.
okay, yeah.
I
Man, I
think they
can't
talked-
wait for that movie to come out, man. How many times did Deadpool just straight up just kill the universe? Like 3 times?
Oh
I
yeah,
know
that
it was
was
three.
yeah.
I got all three runs. They killed it the first time. And he was like, oh, he got bored again and did it again. He did it because he was bored.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, he killed the Marvel universe. Yeah, I think I got two of them. I think there's two, but Genosha right did not, it sort of just Krakoa isn't without its flaws, but basically Genosha lacked the X-Men's protection. Again, this is it was Magneto's mutant nation because every time they've done a Krakoa, right, a mutant nation, it's been Magneto doing it.
mm,
The X-Men always saw it as like separatism, like no, we don't want to separate from the humans. We want to all live together. Professor X was actually Martin Luther King, right? He wanted
yeah,
everybody to be together. And Magneto saw that we can't be together. I've seen what they've done to the Jews. I've seen what humans do. Like we can't fucking live with them. They are the way they are. They're never gonna accept us. We need our own spot. They can have their own spot. Cool. And the X-Men were never really down with that. So every time Magneto made one of those nations, it would fail because it was not solidarity of the mutants.
yeah,
John Hickman comes in, writes a story where Moira McTaggart fucking goes inside, lets Professor X read her mind and sees that she's lived all these lives and seen that no matter how many times she's lived and how many different things she's done, the mutants were always they always had this war and they were always, destroyed by the humans, no matter what, no matter how far in the future she pushed it or it changed, it always happened. There was no way around it, and she made Professor X see that, and that's when he like went to Magneto. He was like, "Look, I see, and fucking let's do it. Let's make our own nation. Like I'm down." So they got together, made Krakoa. It was beautiful. I was super excited reading that shit. House of X, Powers of X got me back into comics. But the nation, Genosha did thrive under Magneto, but a sentinel attack
yep,
basically came and proved that Genosha was vulnerable. And
A fucking Sentinel? Isn't that a mutant?
no, Sentinels are these giant robots that are programmed to seek out the mutant gene in people and kill them.
yeah,
Oh, wow. How can you seek out a gene you don't have? You're a robot.
No, well, they have like a sensor that can sense the gene in people.
Like a battery.
No, it's like a radar thing.
Oh, shit. The
Like
fuck?
some radar. They send out a
The fuck?
signal and it can like
Oh, fuck AI, man.
scan people. You scan people and find out they got the gene and kill them.
Oh,
mm,
But
wow.
so the Sentinels attack. But now X-Men, new X-Men number 115, Grant Morrison. You have to fucking read Grant Morrison's X-Men run if you fuck with the X-Men. But basically detailed the horrific deaths of 16 million mutants. The attack on Genosha became one of the most devastating moments in X-Men history, right? It proved that Magneto could not be a nation's sole protector, right? He couldn't do it on his own. The only way to succeed was if basically two leaders of mutant kind, Magneto and Professor X, could band together, create a proper nation. The downtrodden could rally under Magneto and the X-Men alike, right? Magneto attempted a collaboration with Cyclops back when they did Utopia. You guys might remember there's an X-Men run called Utopia.
yeah.
And yeah, Cyclops got all fucking militant. It was the best,
yeah,
Mm.
he was the best Cyclops ever, bro.
yeah.
He
He
was
wasn't taking no shit from
No,
no
he finally became a leader. Because he was kind
hardcore.
of Captain
Pretty much.
America in that shit for a little while. He was just like, I'm gonna take a blind eye to to some
Yeah,
shit. And
no.
it's like, nigga, like you the leader, man. Like, what
But
the fuck is
against
he
Professor
doing?
X, he was like, "Yo, this is not like, yo, that
It's like you don't see that right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, just keep your
philosophy don't
glasses
fly
on, dumbass.
anymore. You got to be hardcore about it, you know."
Yeah.
And the only way to survive, he got on some real survival stuff.
Yo, salute, shout out Marshall Warpath. What up,
Facts,
my man?
Warpath.
I'd rather be
Facts,
hated for who
Warpath.
I am than be loved for
Facts.
who I'm not.
Because when you just stick to who the fuck you are and don't care about other people's opinions, sometimes that should be working out. It ain't
That's
always a fucking curse to just be like, man, fuck you, man. Like this, I like what I like. I don't give a fuck what you like. I'm glad you like that. I like this too.
And that was just
So
like
okay, that's you.
Cyclops was. Yeah.
what you say, Raw Talk?
I said that's how Cyclops was in that series. He was just like, you could see how he wrote him to be the culmination of Professor X and Magneto in a
Yeah,
sense, like all
yeah,
in one.
yeah.
Like Scott was that guy. You know, he got, you know, in the past they used to write him like he was kind of weak. He always followed
A
Professor
Boy
X in
Scout.
order.
I
Yeah,
know. He
Yeah,
just thought that, man.
you
They,
know,
they'd give him an order, and he's like, no, I know that's wrong. And like, nigga,
this
some
time it's
shit gonna
like,
go down. He's like, no, my team, and the team start end up getting fucked up. He's like, I told you to do with that. I don't care how you feel. I gave you an order.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Utopia was crazy. Like Utopia was a cool story for that reason. Like getting to see Cyclops really being a militant, kind of down with Magneto, killing people, like really doing, like really getting. But Wolverine split off a faction of the X-Men, and Utopia was once again undefended. And then the X-Men would not truly reconcile, like Magneto or his ideas again until Krakoa, many a decade later or whatever. Basically, the X-Men have considered Magneto a terrorist from the beginning. That's how Professor X made them see it. That's how he taught them, and that's how they just sort of ran with it. But his defense of the mutant people proved that he was really just a freedom fighter.
yeah,
I fuck with Magneto, dog. Like Magneto is one of my favorite characters. He's one of the most
Yeah, me
complex
too.
characters in Marvel.
Man, that's one of my most favorite songs ever. Is Toby? He's like, man, you should try Jesus because I throw hands. You know what I'm saying? Like we saying the same shit, but man, I'll fuck you up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman, he's like, man, I don't need a gun, man. I'll fuck you up, man. I ain't gotta kill you. I'll beat you to death.
Yeah, I mean, Magneto's that dude, but he's basically, he may have believed that mutants were superior to humans, but his only goal was to allow his people to live in peace. It's like how the 5 percenters would say, the black man is God, and
I don't give a
basically,
fuck. Okay. So by a gene that you didn't even know you had. Because don't it kick in at a certain age? So you know what I'm saying? There's only certain ones born like that. The born knowing. So you didn't even know you had it. That don't make you okay. Okay, you got power. So now you're a genius and you can make good decisions. No,
Yeah.
so,
nigga,
so
no.
like,
You still a dude.
oh,
You just a dude playing a dude as a dude.
didn't Morlocks fuck up Warren Worthington, aka Angel, and stake him by his wings? Yeah, the Morlocks, crazy
yeah,
Yeah,
shit.
the
more like
Warlocks.
shit.
God
Yeah,
damn. Reno,
Yeah, really
why? What the fuck?
outcast.
Why? What'd he do?
No, I mean, it's just it's a long story, but it's like how the
Damn.
5%, it's like how the 5% nation, or even better yet, like Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, basically pumping up his people to that they are better than the other people, and you know what I'm saying, they are superior, and basically to give them their own self-worth, self-love, stuff like that. And that's what Magneto was about. Magneto wanted to ensure mutants would never be broken by humanity. He needed the X-Men's support to do it, though, and he was trying to basically convince them of this. He was never
But
really like
Professor
trying to
X,
kill the X-Men, right? He was
yeah.
never
but
trying
but
to attack them. He was trying to
but
get them to work
Xavier
with
was
him.
too, though. They was neck and neck, but they I guess we're just doing the same thing. Going down the same path and got to the same goddamn conclusion. I suppose.
I
But
mean,
I think
unfortunately.
I think that like the main thing, even though Magneto was that dude, I think he couldn't even. I think Professor X and X Men were like, well, if you're that dude, why don't you control these rogue elements of
Yeah,
mutants
why
that
the fuck you got
are
these
out
wild
there?
ass motherfuckers? Yeah, it's like
You know,
they killing unnecessarily. Like I understand you mad, but
yeah, because they're robbing, they're stealing, like Pyro and Avalanche. They would go on their own little excursions and do what they wanted to do. Then you had other mutants, doing what they want to do. Like if I can disappear and go in a bank and take $1 million, you know what I'm saying? How are you going to stop those guys? You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like Magneto, yeah, we would see that what you're saying is right, but these other mutants that you can't control is doing crazy stuff, and humanity
It's
pays the
suffering.
cost in it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see that was the dilemma with Magneto and Professor X. Yeah, Magneto, they were on the same page, but there's some rogue elements over here that this is why Professor X was like, look, we need to create harmony with the humans because they're gonna pay the cost by our people being, you know, it's just
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's wild, man.
Absolutely.
reckless and all crazy and shit. If everybody looked out for everybody, you know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean they people too. They was poor. The X Men got paid for their shit. That's how they went to that. How they had all that money and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Magneto though he was fighting because his folks was poor. Magneto had money, but the people that was following him they didn't have shit. Yeah, they was robbing banks.
I mean, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean,
Mm.
that's kind of that. It is what it is. But I mean, you gotta finance the revolution. I mean, that is
That's
unfortunately you gotta finance the revolution, and the government's not paying for it. So sometimes crime is a necessary evil. And that's what, yeah, Magneto and them, if they robbed the bank, that's why they robbed the bank, because they had to further the revolution. It wasn't like to buy the next private jet, right?
mm,
They
For
were
personal
revolution,
gain. It wasn't
right?
for personal gain. It was it was to
mm,
fight the good fight. Yeah, true.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, the X-Men were still dedicated to ensuring the success of Xavier's dreams
yeah,
of coexisting. They wanted to coexist. They didn't want a separate nation. So the X-Men always fought in the hopes that mutants could live alongside humans and just be part of the world and just somehow one day just be accepted by people. And as foolish and naive as that notion is, yeah, it's a beautiful in a perfect world, yes, but
mm,
the way it the way and they were young, because remember when Xavier started the X-Men, they were kids. The X-Men were teenagers. The
yeah,
first
Yeah.
X-Men team were children,
They were
yeah,
children,
right?
yeah. That's
Yes.
why yeah. Children of the atom.
yeah,
It was always is school of the gifted. I mean, Xavier had a school for kids. So the
yeah,
X-Men were young at first, and they barely, they grew up over time a little bit, but yeah, they were kids at first. And so basically he indoctrinated them, that humans and mutants could one day learn to live together. And there would always be evidence of that. At the end of every X-Men comic, you would show the human that they were trying to save would be like, "Oh, humans are good," or X-Men, mutants are good after all. It would be that kind of fucking lesson, right? At the end of every whatever, and so they would have all this evidence that, yeah, well, some people are down with us, but what
I,
Magneto was trying to tell them is that while, yeah, there might be some allies out there, as a whole, their government, they're never going to accept us
yeah,
because like you said, Raw Talk, it's shit we can do that they're scared of.
yeah,
And, there's a lot to be said for that, for, the I'll say the Malcolm X aspect of it. We'll leave it at that. But
and what Professor Xavier is saying, like, okay, I think in his mind he was like, yo, we come from humans, even though we're mutants, we're also human as well.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Because it only takes a gene at puberty to change you or whatever. You change your whatever mutant ability you would take on, but before that, you were strictly human. So
Yes.
why can't we share the world with humanity or make sure we let them understand who we are before really going into battle mode with them?
Yeah, I mean that's because, like I say, that the evidence was there, so there is merit or there is precedent, reason for for them to not just see it Magneto's way. Because for me and for a lot of us, it might be like, damn, bro, Magneto, that shit was common sense. Magneto was right. Like we might see that obviously, but to them it wasn't obvious, and for whatever
Right.
reasons. But shout out Marshall Ward. He said the X-Men are my favorite for many reasons, but the main reason is that they have native indigenous characters on their teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. That's one on your profile pic right there.
yeah,
Huh? Say
Yeah.
what?
But one of the things that they did that was genius with X-Men is you gotta have diversity because it makes sense. You can't just have just white people with the mutant gene. So they're showing
Right,
you a different, like it affects the
right.
mutant gene affected everybody, the whole planet. So it
Mhm.
didn't matter whether you, because remember, if you look at the very first X-Men Charles Xavier recruited, they were all different ages. They were young, but like I think Beast and Angel were the oldest, and he was rich. He was, well, his name was Worthington the Third. He came
Yeah,
from a rich
Angel.
family.
Yeah,
He was straight
yeah,
rich. And
yeah,
then Beast, he played football in college, and that's how
Yeah,
he got the name Beast. You know what I mean? Iceman was young, Scott was young, and Jean was young. They were
yeah.
all young.
Iceman,
Wolverine
I
was
think, was
older
the
than that.
youngest.
Iceman, he was
Wolverine
the
wasn't
youngest.
there
Yeah.
yet. Wolverine
Now he
wasn't
wasn't
there
there. I'm
yet.
saying when he came. No, I'm saying when he
Yeah,
came,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like, damn, they kids. Like, yo, these jokers
Yeah.
is kids.
Wolverine's like
But
150.
Wolverine, yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah. Yeah. Wolverine, like, look, man, y'all really don't want to know. But the diversity was there even with the first team, with
Yeah.
with just them being different ages, and they all came from different backgrounds. Because remember, Scott was like, he wasn't really like, he was from like a family where like he was just from like a regular American family. Like they wasn't
Mhm,
like rich, they wasn't poor. They were kind of like
mhm.
in the middle. His mom and dad were blue collar workers.
Yeah,
Jean's family were blue collar workers. uh, You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
so the diversity is there, and I think that Hollywood misses that way. Like they missed the mark way off because they try to focus on one thing too much, whereas in they're all diverse in every way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and it just affects everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, X-Men always fought in the hopes that mutants could live mutants could live with humans together in harmony, and like I said, through
Right.
all their
Right.
encounters with humanity over the years, proved that that dream was a lie. Like my man Lito's way mentioned Stryker in his
striker.
um yeah, it's the his name. Fuck, I'm gonna look it up in a second, but humans had developed sentinels and countless other measures, with the sole function of butchering or exploiting mutants. Even the Avengers fought X-Men a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
They were human as fuck. Like they were on the human side, like Captain America, Iron Man, and them. It was like that. So, and policy about what humans wasn't only the only difference between Magneto and the X-Men, right? The X-Men always claimed to be supportive of their fellow mutants, but they rarely actually proved it.
there you go.
Magneto
Mm,
Magneto was generally more tolerant of his fellow mutants than the X-Men ever were.
Yeah,
The X-Men didn't recruit mutants with, undisguised mutations until Nightcrawler joined in Giant X-Men.
yeah,
Everybody that X-Men would get was had a mutation that was hidden. Remember, Beast didn't have blue fur at first.
yeah, exactly.
no.
Everyone could pass, right?
Yeah.
Everyone could
And
pass.
remember that was now Reno bringing that up. That was controversial too because remember, Beast decided to go full mutant. He actually
Uh,
created a serum that enhanced his mutant ability, and then brought out the fur, everything.
Yeah.
Because for a while, he just was like a regular. He looked like a regular person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
remember the comic. I remember the comic when that happened, and
yeah,
I
he
think I
looked
have
like
the comic. Yeah,
yeah, he
it's
looked
like a
like a
regular
Mhm.
regular
human,
person, but his hands and his feet was
Big as
extra
fuck.
just a little
huge.
bigger, but big as
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, they were huge. Yeah, to highlight the fact that he was the beast.
yeah,
But he had decided to just embrace his whole mutant existence, and he created a serum or something like that that actually enhanced and just progressed him even further. So he
yeah,
had fur and things like that. And he looked more like a beast,
Yeah.
yeah,
but he's still a
I
regular
mean,
human.
you look at the first teams. Go look at the old, or the old original X-Men comics. You have all the X-Men looked like normal, just normal humans, and then Magneto had Toad, was all short and squat. He had Blob,
yeah.
which
Oh
was
yeah,
massive,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
just
Saber
it
tooth.
showed off. Yeah, it showed off the difference between the level of acceptance that Magneto showed compared to the X-Men, who had sort of, not yet shed their human values, and the very existence of the Morlocks, who my man Norrin Red brought up, I believe. The Morlocks, proved that humans would not deign to live alongside mutants with severe physical mutations, right? Like the Morlocks were mutants that had hideous mutations, or monstrous mutations, or really just wild and crazy. They looked really bizarre or really fucked up or whatever. And sadly, the X-Men failed to accommodate Morlocks into their dream, right? Had the X-Men joined him, Magneto would have had a place for the Morlocks from the beginning. From rip, Magneto would be like, Morlocks, y'all over here, blah, blah, blah. Like, what I'm saying? He would have had them together. Krakoa has a home for Morlocks now, right? But years of feeling overlooked by the X-Men have sort of isolated them even today, even, alienated them, and sort of had the X-Men created a nation state early on, as Magneto had wanted. The Morlocks could have lived in peace and avoided the mutant massacre completely, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
All of Magneto's previous efforts to create a separate nation for mutants have has failed, have been very catastrophes for mutants. Basically, X-Men refusing to join, um, leaving mutant kind fundamentally split, has been the reason. Like, had mutants bonded with the whole idea from the jump, they would have been tight. They could have lasted, and it's just sad. While humanity came together, mutants were divided. Humanity was together against the mutants. Mutants had two separate factions. And whose fault was that? We paint Magneto in the evil brotherhood of evil mutants, the bad guy. How were they the bad guys? Right?
Yeah,
It's weird when you think about it. So, a divided nation always falls, right? We
yeah,
we like
true.
Trump, like Trump did with us, with our, and Krakoa, is an experiment that lets all mutants band together, and they can live in one location that still allows them to connect to humanity without the struggle that comes from living
Friendship.
directly alongside the human population. I mean, it's an island. They're separate from humanity, and they're no longer bound by human laws. They don't have human threats in their homes. Humans can't walk up on them. They are completely free and liberated on Krakoa. They can do what they want, be who they want, with no persecution, no humans around to fuck with them. And
Mhm.
it was a beautiful thing, and it's everything that Magneto dreamed of. It's everything. It's exactly why he signed on to take part in the Krakoan dream. He always knew that the mutants would face persecution, and it was why he wanted to secure a safe place for them, to
Yeah,
have them, somewhere they could have a base where they could form and make a stand. He suffered, horrific atrocities, during his youth, with the Holocaust, and he knew all too well the persecution always rears its ugly head against the oppressed. And the only flaw with Magneto's plan came whenever he would aim too large and strike too much, and too too ferociously, and kill people and shit. And it was, X-Men offered a softer hand with a more diplomatic touch, which
Yeah.
made Magneto's vision more viable for the wider world. And so, in a way, they had to combine their ways. Like, alone, Magneto's way didn't work. He had the right idea, but it didn't work by himself. Professor X had the wrong idea, but they could do it, if they banded together. And Professor X secured a Krakoa that, has some connection to humanity, but, you know, Magneto ensured a mutant society that would never be controlled by human governments.
Yeah.
The Fall of X event is now here, which is Krakoa's collapse, and basically,
Mhm.
it was inevitable. I knew when this whole Krakoa shit was going on. When I was reading this, I was like, here we go again. I said, I already know what's gonna happen. It happens every time. The mutants always get one of these dope, get into these dope situations where they got their own little utopia, and it always gets fucked up. It never
Yeah.
lasts. It can never fucking last. It's just, it's just their it's their status quo. I mean, it's what it's kind of like,
And it always happens from within. For some
mm,
reason, it's like it's set up to happen from within. It's like
mhm.
show, I guess, the show Magneto. Yeah, even if you have a perfect utopia with mutant kind, you still got those divisions and hatreds or whatever, or past conflicts within,
Yep.
which will allow the outside influences to capitalize on that weakness.
Yep.
Yeah,
COINTELPRO type shit.
facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's good, everyone?
Black Heroes
What up,
Club. What
Black?
up?
Black
Yeah,
Hero Club. What up?
What's going on with
Yeah.
you?
yeah, but
But
the
yeah, going contrary to I was doing some
Yep.
reading about the mutants because I know Reno got me reading these houses of X's
the House of
and powers of X's.
Powers of
Now,
X.
and I've been finding out some interesting stuff because you read, and then I was like, well, what about this? But I always wondered about Cyclops, and I found out that his uh his his power is not heat vision. He has the ability to create like portals. They're like small. They're like portals to an alien dimension, and they're
Mm.
comprised of like a kinetic force. And the only thing that can block it is that ruby. Is the ruby colored visor that he has, like the rubies that's in there. That's the only thing that can block it because he can't control. Like Scott Summers
Yeah.
can't control his powers. Like he can't control it. He opens his eyes, it's going down in the town.
Yeah.
And
It's from another dimension, and it's a
yeah,
concussive
it's from another
blast that
dimension. It's a
comes out.
concussive blast.
It's
I
not a
didn't know
heat.
they
Now
could
It's
when
not a
have
X
heat beam.
portals.
now when
Yeah.
X-Men Annual number
It
one,
comes from a portal.
I went back and read X-Men Annual number one.
Yeah.
And
It's
in
not a
X-Men
laser.
Annual number one, they show they showed his true power. And he fought Captain Marvel. And then he
Mm.
removed his visor. He took the whole visor off. And then he forced Captain Marvel to absorb the blast, like just wholehearted, because that's what she can do. That's how Rogue got her powers. So once he did that, it proved that the beams of light were they were like a thunderous whirl of energy, of kinetic energy around him. And like when he took the visor off and just let it go full blast, it was so much Captain Marvel couldn't take it. It almost
Mm.
killed her.
Yep.
But people think it's like a heat visioner, but it's not. It's kinetic force. It's just kinetic force that he uses.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not a heat. It's not a laser. It
Nah,
Yeah,
don't
I
it's not
thought
a
it
start.
was
laser.
It
a,
don't
like
start
a
a fire.
laser.
No,
Huh?
no, it's
Yeah.
not a
No. It's
laser.
not
And
a.
yeah, Cyclops is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite mutants. My favorite of all time is Iceman. That's favorite. That's my favorite mutant. By the way.
Mm.
Nightcrawler.
Yo, I like Bishop. And speaking of that, it's bugged out that all these stories, right, with the Krakoa and all that, and then a fall of X and things of that nature,
it all still ends up for what Bishop was talking about, the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you're reading, it's gonna end up that way.
Well, that's how
It's
that's how they that's what Moira McTaggart was showing Professor X. That's how the whole Krakoa thing happened. That's how House of X, Powers of X, that's what happened. You know, she showed him that because Moira McTaggart was historically human, right? No one had ever thought she was mutant or anything like that. She found out she was mutant, that her mutant ability was every time she died, right, she would be reborn again. So she could live as many lives as she wanted and she would just continually be reborn. And so she was living all these lives, doing all this shit, like going through all these different scenarios and trying all this shit to make the future of of mutants not have this, you know, apocalyptic war with humans. But what she found, no matter how many times she did it, was that that apocalyptic war with humans was inevitable, no matter what it happened, no matter what. And so she was telling the Professor X that, and of course, you know, to make him know that, she, you know, let him, you know, read her mind so he could see everything that she, and he just like stood there and he was just like fucking shocked, right? He was just stunned the shit that he saw. And it was based on that they started Krakoa, that he got with Magneto and they got together and started the Krakoa. And but yeah, it's still, I mean, here we are, it's Fall of X. This,
Hey, did you show
Fall of X,
the new
House of X.
animation trailer?
There it is. Oh, the X-Men 97 trailer?
Yeah, did you show it yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. But
Bro, Bishop looks so dope in that.
yeah, they got a cool Bishop now. He's, you know, looking more like Method Man.
I was in a comic shop and I told him that I told him Meth is campaigning to be Bishop when they do the
Yeah.
live action, and
Yeah.
people stopped in the comic shop. Was like, what? So I look at the action figure; it looks like him. They're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they
Like,
didn't know. They didn't know. A lot of people don't know.
yeah, and some people was like, I don't see him being. I said I could see him being
Absolutely.
or the guy who played the Luke Cage. He looks like Bishop with the bald head.
He could do Bishop straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they don't do it. Hopefully Meth get the part. I would
But
love
I
it.
would,
You know
yeah,
who I would love to
I'd
see?
be mad
Black
if it was
Lightning. The
I'd be
guy who
mad.
played Black Lightning in CW.
I'd be mad if it was anybody but Method Man. I'd be pissed. I'd be really pissed.
It got to
Just
be Method
because
Man. We need
it
Method
gotta be.
Man to play this part. Yeah, we need him to play this part. Man. He been
Yeah,
training for it.
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
I mean, as hard as Nicolas Cage fought to get Superman and he got it, and Ghost Rider. Come on, man, bro. We gotta get Method Man his chance.
Telling you,
Like he
dog.
fought hard to get, and Ghost Rider was so bad it flopped twice. It flopped twice, and he still played the part. And he still they wanted to replace him as Ghost Rider, and he still petitioned for it so hard that they had to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we gonna talk about this X-Men trailer real quick.
All right, cool.
The '97 Joe.
Yeah, and you know, this is the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel, and the video is called Marvel Animations X-Men 97 official trailer, Disney Plus. So you can go there
Fair
and
use.
watch. Yeah, go watch it there and see the whole video. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. Here goes. They got like this cool like revamp. They're showing the old, and this is cool too. Let's check this out. So this is like an old school TV, the big box TV, right? You got your X-Men toy right there in the corner. You can see the little action figure right there, the old school action figure, and you're
Yeah.
watching. It's like you at home watching X-Men and shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's Xavier dying. That's the end of of the animated
And check
series.
who's in that lineup. Check who's chilling in the lineup.
You got Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, Jubilee, Wolverine, Beast, Gambit, Rogue, Morph, and Magnus.
Magnus. Yep.
And
Magnus.
yeah,
Hey, do you think they'll have Nightcrawler? I didn't see Nightcrawler in there.
he'll be there.
He's gonna be in there. He'll be there.
Yeah, yeah. I got the action figure on pre-order right now.
Yeah, I was getting ready to bring that up. I had to
Yeah,
pre-order him too. Yeah,
yeah.
because he looked dope. Like I was like, yeah.
The new Magneto looks dope too. The purple suit. He's got the purple suit with the big M.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the
No,
comic.
stop. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Like
whoa.
from the
Oh, I got
trial of Magneto. The cover, the trial of Magneto.
oh.
Trial of Magneto, where he had the cuffs on and he had the big purple
Where's he?
M.
Where? Did you order him, Reno, or no?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You go to a Big Bad Toy Store or whatever toy store you want. You can they're for pre-order right now.
Yeah,
Bro, I got the first wave. I got the whole first wave. Check it out.
Shoot, I got a whole bucket of mutants. A bin full of mutants.
I only get certain ones, man. I only get certain ones when it comes
I got
to
every
Marvel
version of
Legends.
except for this new one. I got every version of Wolverine, every version of Cyclops.
Yeah, I see the one you're talking about with the purple and black, with the M, with the white hair, with the
Yeah.
that dude look rough. That dude look hard.
I gotta get the new 97 ones, but I'm debating. I don't know. I'm trying to wait a little bit longer.
Bro, let me show you something.
That look like Method Man. I don't care what
Don't
I
wait.
tell you.
Don't wait. Pull the trigger, bro. Pull the trigger. These joints is hard. These joints is hard, bro.
Yeah. See, I already have that,
Blacked
man.
out eyes. He got
Oh,
the
the
blacked out eyes, like the cartoon. It's
Mhm.
dope, bro. Yeah, it's a little different than the previous Marvel Legends.
Hey, where can we find
Now
that? shit?
that Magneto is dope.
A new
Magneto
head.
is dope.
Yeah, new head sculpt for Wolverine. Animated. Let me try to get it to focus. You stupid fuck.
Nah, it's cool though. We get the gist. We know how everybody
Yeah,
on
I know.
how Wolvie looks.
Well, anyway, you know how he looks. But yeah, you got Gambit as a really cool sculpt. New.
Yeah,
new
they
Gambit.
bugged me out with that because I had two versions of Gambit. I had the first one that came in the box, and then I got the other one that was carded. The first the retro one that's supposed to be the to me is the final one. Yep, and her. I got her in the Lovers 3-pack. Yeah, Storm. Now, see that one. To me, they just put a new head on it because that body seems like the same one from the carded one.
There's a small difference in the shoulders, but yeah, it's
Sure, yeah, it is. Yeah,
yeah. And then this is a new Rogue. I really like this new Rogue. The two-tone, the two pieces of hair, like her hair actually have two sections. The detail is crazy. She's not. They didn't really, de-boob or de-butt her too much. She doesn't look, hella flat like she does in the cartoon. I mean, she like badunk. And then
well, that's the same.
she got the glove. See how her hand has her glove off?
Yeah.
And then she got a hand where it's like holding the glove.
Yeah.
That's dope. I think that's
dope.
dope right there.
That shit is dope.
I think that's ill. Yeah.
Like she took her glove off and she's holding the glove. They've never done a figure like that, so that's new. I like that. But yeah, it's I would definitely say it's worth getting that that wave. The new wave has Magneto with the purple M. It's got the new the villain who we're going to talk about in a little bit, the Executioner, and it's got Nightcrawler and Jean Grey, a new Jean Grey, which basically looks just like this Jean Grey. So I'm gonna pass because I got this one.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy every version of every character. If it's Wolverine, I'm buying every version that comes out. If it's that's it. Like that's one character that every time there's a Wolverine figure, I'm gonna buy it. Except for that shit kicker Wolverine. I hate Wolverine with the fucking shit kicker hat. I don't like the Wolverine with the
Oh yeah, I like
cowboy.
that one. I got that
I'm
one.
not a fan. I'm not a fan of Cowboy Wolverine. I never have been. I don't feel it fits him.
Nah,
I think it's
people
weird.
love
I
that.
don't
People
think
love that version of Wolverine,
he's,
man.
first of all, he's
Yeah.
Canadian. He's Canadian. He's not a cowboy. He's a fucking samurai, if anything. Like it just doesn't fit him, dog. It seems like they put it because they thought it was like a tough guy thing. It's not. It's a shit kicker hat. Take that shit off. You look like a stripper. Stop.
Well, he wears that hat in the cartoon sometimes.
Oh yeah, they got him in the comics with it, in the cartoon with it. They made it a part of him, and I don't like it. I'm just
Yeah,
not-
but usually it's like brown, and it doesn't make him look like a geek about it. It makes him look cool and like cigar in his mouth.
Always had it tilted down where you can't.
It's not for me. For me, cowboy hats don't look cool.
No,
You go back. Nah, you go back to the West,
Yeah,
the old
whoa,
West,
whoa, bro.
like
Whoa.
everybody like whoa, you made it.
Whoa.
Wild
Cowboy
Wild
hats
West.
don't look cool.
hold
Will
on,
Smith, Wild Wild
hold
West.
on,
Come
hold on. Who here wears a fucking cowboy hat?
I do.
I believe you.
Hold
But-
on.
But listen,
I'll rock a cowboy hat, bro.
y'all do not walk around with cowboy hats. Stop it.
If I can rock
Yeah,
a
hold up,
fedora,
hold up.
Stop it.
if I can rock a fedora,
Stop
I
it.
can rock a cowboy hat, bro. That's just how it
There's
is.
nothing cool about fucking cowboy hats. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not.
If
It's
you
just
go to
not for me.
Texas, when I go to
Yeah.
Texas, I
Everybody in Texas got one of them fucking shit kicker hats on. I'm sorry if you're from Texas. I'm sorry if you like them shit kicker hats. It's just not for me.
First of all, cowboy hats are the coolest thing going.
No,
If you ain't
No.
got a cowboy hat,
no.
you ain't going. If you ain't got no
If you wearing
cowboy
a
hat,
cowboy hat, you're oh my god.
Wow, hold on, man.
come on, man.
Y'all fucking me up.
Oh,
Howdy.
man.
Let's get back
Howdy
to the
there,
show.
partner.
Here we go.
Howdy,
Here we
partner.
go.
Let's get back to the show right there.
Howdy,
Oh,
partner.
So you saying Kumo D in the Wild Wild West wasn't cool?
Hell no, that shit wasn't cool.
Wow.
Man, now it was past cool.
Wow.
It was past cool.
Oh, yeah, the trench and everything. The Wild
Look at
Wild.
Stu look like a stripper with his stripper hat on. He even got the small one.
Oh,
Howdy.
there you go. Oh, whoa,
Howdy.
that's a stripper one, bro.
Whoa, he got the stripper one.
Howdy. Man, howdy.
Yeah,
Hold on.
doing some extracurricular hustle on the side.
Listen,
Come on,
listen here,
man.
partner. Listen here, partner.
All right, here goes the trailer, y'all.
Trusted us with his dream. No matter how dark it is, we must believe.
The animation looks a lot cleaner than the old show.
It
It's
does.
definitely
It really
yeah,
does. Yeah.
It's
The other one
amazing.
looked like it was drawn by an 8th grader. But this,
No, but it had a.
it was good though. It was good.
Yeah.
We didn't mind it. We didn't mind it.
It
We,
had
no,
a-
I,
it
I,
had a
we
nice
didn't mind it.
pencil drawn feel. I like how the original one looked. The animation was ass. It looked like it was animated by a fucking 8th grader. It was like choppy. It was like fucking
I
20
think-
FPS.
I honestly think it's the same.
the
It's
art
just
was nice.
The color hues are different.
And the lines are much cleaner because it's made with a computer, right? It's drawn with a computer. It's
Yeah,
drawn
it's
with
probably with DigiPen. Probably
tablet.
drawn
Yeah.
DigiPen.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
I can understand that.
It's definitely computer done. They said as much. I mean, they're not trying to hide it or anything, but the character designs are slightly updated. The voice actors are largely the same people. They tried to get all the same people. The guy that plays Wolverine is, in my opinion, the second best Wolverine voice actor. Steve Blum is definitely the first. But yeah, Cathal Dodd is definitely up there. When I read Wolverine comics, like this is who I hear,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This or
Oh,
Steve
you hear
Blum.
that voice? Yeah, me too. I only
Yeah.
hear that voice like that raspy. I hear that. That's all I hear too.
Yeah.
She's stub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
Yeah.
Storm looked crazy.
Hell yeah, she looked dope.
Oh,
Jubilee
yeah.
is cool.
Bishop was dope.
Oh, so they actually gonna have the birth of Cable then, huh? All right.
Oh, what? Yeah, with Scott and Jean.
Yeah, right
Hold
there.
on,
Cable in the gut.
Bishop. That
There
shit
you
dope.
go.
That shit
Bishop.
dope.
He looks totally different from the other one when he had the long rock and roller hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he had like the perm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, him riding on old boy's back is crazy.
He made it. He kinetic. He connect his claws. Right. He made his claws kinetically charged. So hold on. Wait. Say it
He
again.
said, my X-Men.
To me, my X Men.
I did like that part. I love that. I hope that he's like the leader for the season.
To me, my X-Men.
How does Tony Stark say it? Avengers Assemble? No, I like this one better. To me, my X-Men.
Yeah, that's what Xavier used to always say.
Yeah.
And now Xavier's dead, and so you got Magnus over here.
Neo, the last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
Ooh.
Bro, what?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard. It's gonna be a hard show.
I mean, I'm not mad at like the little. I'm not mad at the little woke rumors that it's gonna be super woke and all of that. Like it's the X-Men, so like I expect some
We know it's
wokery,
not.
but
Yeah, we
you
know
know
it's not.
the
Man.
fedora. The fedora
We
is
know
the
it's not
coolest
because
hat. By the way,
the
the fedora is the coolest hat. Shout out to my gangsters from the 1920s. But yeah, the fedora is the coolest hat
cooler than the cowboy hat.
by far.
Never.
By far. By far. Now, listen. Here's the thing: when you talking about like Clint Eastwood and them old Western movies, cowboys, the hats that cowboys actually wore, those are dope.
Yeah,
What's
that's what I'm talking about.
the shits that they walk around with in Texas were never worn by cowboys in the old West. They didn't
Oh,
exist.
yeah,
That
not.
is a
Oh,
new
you talking about
style of hat.
them 10-gallon hats? The
Yeah,
10-gallon.
that's the one they wear in Texas. That's the one y'all saying is cool.
Well,
Well, that's the dynasty.
Cowboys used to
That's the
wear.
dynasty
Cowboys
hat.
used to wear
That
those
came
too.
from J.R.
Had on.
Smith.
Yeah,
That came from J.R. Smith. That's the
yeah,
dynasty
that
hat.
shit they
That's
are
the
wearing.
modern day. That's
Cowboys
the
did not
modern
wear those.
day Yellowstone cowboy hat. That's
Yeah,
the modern day
cowboys.
cowboy hat.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
they
hang 'em high. I'm talking about for a
hang
few
them high.
dollars
That's
more.
different. Those are different. Those have flat
Few
tops. They
dollars
don't have
more.
that. Those don't look like Arby's hats.
Yeah,
Yeah, them Arby's hats.
those hats are hard.
No, those are cool. But yeah, no, those are cool. But yeah, it's
So this is one of the first black cowboy novels, and it features all black, cowboys from in the day, written in 1966, I think.
Mhm.
oh wow,
Yeah,
You
that's
see?
how Cowboys
Uh,
got the name Cowboys.
Negro
Because they
cowboy
were actually black
rustling the cowboys.
yeah, were wrestling the cows,
Bill Puckett.
herders, and everything like that. Yeah, that's how the name
Boy, don't say,
Cowboys.
man, let's get on Cowboys, bro. Let's make the show Cowboys.
Nah, we gotta go back to the unless they're mutant.
Yeah, we gotta get back to the mutants. Yeah, mutant cowboys. Yeah.
Man,
Like,
it's
like
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is
Ain't Rock
like
in New York? What the fuck? We everywhere, man. This is America, man. What is the Cowboys? Right here. Come on, man.
The Dallas Cowboys maybe we fuck with, but
unless they're Apocalypse is what you call it? They ride horses and they
the Four Horsemen.
Four
The
horsemen.
Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh god.
Slade's a cowboy.
there it is. But yeah, man, going back to the that
No, Cowboys are cool. Cowboys are cool. It's them fucking goofy ass hats they got Wolverine in. I do not like. That is not. Cowboys never wore those.
Yeah, is Logan
Cowboys
from the
never
South?
wore those. Logan's from
Where is
Canada.
Wolverine from?
He's from Canada. He
Canada.
don't get
Why the fuck
he
he
don't
got
get any
cowboy hat
less
on,
south.
man?
He don't get any
Canada.
less south. You can't get any less south.
He said you can't get any less south. What's above Canada? Antarctica.
Right?
At the top of the world.
The
He got
North
no
Pole.
cowboy hat. Maybe it's because the South is the shit for door boy. Talking about nothing.
But yeah, man, that trailer is very dope, man.
Yeah,
Really
it
like
At
does.
first, I thought it was fan made, but I really like what they did with the beginning. Man, I was like, "Oh, it's fan made," but then when you
No.
get into it, like, wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Because in the beginning they're giving you that little throwback part, showing you the old series and stuff, kind of letting you see where it left off, where Magneto was, or where Professor X was dying, and he was, telling his, but you know,
And Disney Plus added more episodes to the original one too. Because I remember it only stopped at a certain point, but now
mm,
I guess with the arrival of the new one, they want everybody to get familiar again back with the old one.
yeah,
Hey, talking about
yeah.
Disney, why don't they have the famous Jet Jackson on Disney?
The what?
The famous bro, you guys don't know the famous Jet Jackson? Silverstone. Oh, that might be all right. Never mind. You guys might. That was what I grew up with. You guys got to check out the famous Jet Jackson, bro.
The famous Jet Jackson.
Yeah,
Is that
the
what you're
famous
saying?
Jet Jackson is about a
The
movie
man?
star. Well, he's about a man. I can't remember the guy's name, but he died. The actor died. But Jet Jackson is about a movie star, and he's in a small little town. Or he used to live in a small little town. He goes back home to visit. He misses his friends, so he has the production studio come to his small town.
Uh-huh.
And basically, he's a secret agent, and he's able to. He's a secret agent who, does the movie thing and then tries to live a regular life as a kid. It's a good show, bro. It's really good.
Okay. I will check that out. But
Yeah.
yeah. But the X-Men 97 show is gonna be like, I mean, we hope, and the idea, it's supposed to be, I mean, it's supposed to be going old school, you know what I'm saying, with, like the old series. But since the release of the trailer, the showrunner, Bo DeMayo, did an interview, like telling, sort of like what we can sort of expect from the classic X-Men, including how they're out their uniforms and shit, will sort of look. He said every design choice is actually a clue to the storylines that we're doing. Nothing is arbitrary. He said so, basically partially labeling the designs as a callback to the show's predecessor, Pride of the X-Men. The other reason,
Real quick question: with Bishop, traveling in different dimensions, what is he actually doing in the mansion? Sorry, look. So I was thinking about it. I was like, all right.
You
So,
mean in the original cartoon?
well, in the original cartoon, he was never in the mansion, right? He was always in a different dimension, and the X-Men would travel to that dimension and then see Bishop. So
nah,
what is he doing here in the mansion?
bro. Bishop is a time traveler, so he
Yeah.
just comes from the future.
Yeah,
and
but that's my point. Like, did he come? Maybe that's the Bishop that came from the future, the one the X-Men. Like, I'm thinking it's an Easter egg because what is Bishop doing?
So Bishop is from the future. So anytime you see Bishop, he's Bishop from the future. He just travels back
Right.
to the current timeline
Right.
and
Comes
does
back
stuff.
to the turn. Yeah. Like
Yeah. So
Cable.
so when,
Like Cable's
yeah,
from the
like
future.
Cable.
Bishop, they're from the same future,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
But it's a long story. It's
Yeah,
just a
because
long. You have to do a
Ford
whole nother show on
sends
that.
Bishop back to
Ford
stop
and
the
Bishop and Cable.
assassination of a president that will
Right.
start the revolution against the mutants.
Mhm.
And he
But
started out as a member
I
of
just thought
He started as a member of Xavier's security forces too. Remember
Yeah,
that he was a mutant police in the
him
mutant police force.
and his sister
He's
and his
part of
He
and his
was a
sister.
cop
Yeah, they're
in the
part of a
future.
mutant in the future. Yeah, he's part of it, like a
Mhm.
mutant police force in the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's only in the
like
comics, right? Because like on the animated series, he
no,
only
they talked
appears
about it
in.
then. No, they talked about. Remember when they fought Nimrod and they blew him apart, and he was like, "Yo, we got to go because he's gonna put himself back together."
Yeah.
And then Nimrod
Right,
put
but
himself
didn't they
back
go through
together.
a portal? Like there was like a portal scene, right?
No.
Like to
I
get
don't
onto
remember
the
because I haven't seen it in
spacecraft.
so long. Yeah, I
The,
haven't
the, the
seen it in
only
so long.
portal
I'd have to watch it.
the only thing you're talking I mean you might be talking about is when Bishop goes through time, but Bishop comes to their time. And when we see Bishop
Yes,
running around and shit,
yes.
he's in their time. They're
It's in
not
their
in
time.
his
Yeah,
time.
it's his time. Yeah, he comes to the future. He comes to the past.
They
Mhm.
go
Yeah,
they do flashbacks in the animated series. They did the whole Bishop show. It was like the Sentinels, the Days of Future Past timeline and all of that.
Him and his sister
right.
Shard.
Shard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Did
then
they
you got to
have a
remember
Bishop
they
TV show?
can't go. They can't go to their future because of the technovirus. So they can't go there anyway. They'll be infected by the technovirus.
Mm.
No.
No, technovirus is different. Because in
Isn't
the
that in
show,
Cable's future? That's in Cable's in the future, right? Oh, that's in Cable's future, not Bishop. That's in Cable's future.
Cable got
The
infected
technovirus.
with the virus, not
He
because of
hasn't.
his,
He's infected with the technovirus, but
yeah,
but
but
it's not just
and
because
so
of
is
his timeline. It's
no,
not
not
just
because
because
yeah.
no, it
Now
just
didn't
happened to him.
Apocalypse release it or something like that? Because I know Apocalypse has the technovirus as well, doesn't he? He's also
So
infected.
yeah, the beings that he got the techno organic virus from, they're a techno organic race.
yeah, warlocks, not
Yeah.
warlock. What's
Warlock, yeah.
yeah, warlocks people.
Yeah. Yeah, warlock, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they it's a techno organic race, but yeah, and Bishop Cable basically just, uses his telekinetic and psychic powers to keep the techno-organic virus at bay from taking him over completely. Because if he didn't have
Right.
telekinetic powers keeping it at bay, it would just take him over in a matter of minutes or whatever, and he'd become this robot, and he would die. He would immediately die. So that's why that's why Cable's my favorite mutant right now. But like that's why he uh isn't as powerful as he would be. There's a character named Strife, and Strife is a clone of Cable and doesn't have the organic virus. So he's like Cable and with the ability to use his powers. See, Cable can't use his telekinetic powers or none of his like mutant powers because it's
Yeah, because of the virus.
constantly keeping the virus at bay. So he
Yeah.
can't take it away from that and use it because it's constantly having to keep that at bay. If he didn't have that virus, he would be like a fucking god, which Strife is. And you get to see how Bishop would be without the virus and shit and how powerful he is and shit. But
yeah. Yes.
the other reason that the show's showrunner Bo DeMeo added that they have very specific uniforms and stuff. He said throw the X-Men back to a time where they're thinking about what part of this do I want to keep? What was it truly simpler back then, or was it just more naive? He said, this attempt to bridge the gaps between eras, shown in the X-Men 97 trailer, where they sort of try to try to bring you back to that old X-Men show and make it fresh in your mind. Like they do want you to remember that show, which is a good sign, y'all. It's a good sign that they want you to remember that show. Because that means that this show is going to be really related to that show. It's directly based on it. It comes directly off the ending of it. Despite
that's a different warlock. Sorry.
Bloodshed. That
Well,
is
all right.
just a
So
different warlock.
Yeah, that's a different
warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that warlock.
Yeah, the one from the techno world, he calls himself Warlock.
Yeah, he's in New Mutants recently and shit like that. But that's a sick ass Doom cover. I need that.
Yeah, X-Men classic.
That is hot. Yeah, that is hot right there. And you got to remember the whole thing started with Mr. Sinister
Coming with
and
Hmm.
doom.
Apocalypse because
Finally.
he wanted to use Nathan's body as his as he wanted to use Nathan's body. You know how Apocalypse has to have a new body every so often, but he
Hmm.
wanted to use Nathan's body because he knew it was really powerful. But Sinister infected Nathan's body with the techno as revenge against Evan Sor.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Sinister had everybody on an island doing experiments. And that's
Basically.
Gambit actually went to Mr. Sinister because Gambit couldn't control his powers. So he purposefully subdued himself and put himself in experimentation because he was fucking shit up. Because
Right.
Gambit was just recklessly blowing shit up and couldn't control it. Because it went by his emotions. So when he went to Mr. Sinister, I guess gave him like a lobotomy kind of thing. I know my Gambit. So he took like a piece of his brain or some shit. And Gambit didn't have. It's not that he didn't have all his powers. It's just that he his piece chunk of his brain was gone.
Mm.
you know. So
Right.
he kind of used Mr. Sinister to help in a weird way. But Mr. Sinister, that's not a clever name. That nigga was experimenting on them. It was fucked up on our island.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and what you call it had a lot in common. Him and what is the guy from the what's
Who's
his
Sebastian Shaw?
not Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw was just a whole nother, like he was like a nutcase in a sense. Like he
Yeah,
was
man,
more of
crazy
a
is crazy.
secret society type of mutant dude on the side,
Yeah.
trying to cause things from the background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Where Sinister, he did that, but he did it genetically. I was
Yeah.
talking about,
Scientific.
and what was my guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, the high
Evolutionary.
evolutionary. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Sinister and High Evolutionary, those dudes are just the wildest dudes in the whole Marvel universe to me because they just fuck with people's genetics and go crazy with it
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
decide to
Yeah.
destroy them whenever they feel like it. Like,
Yeah. They be on some shit.
right.
They be on some shit.
yeah,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
They.
Don't forget about Hope. Don't forget about Hope Summers too. She was a carrier. She couldn't be infected by the virus, but she could infect others. She could even infect inorganic matter with the virus just by touching it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hope.
That was a great story too.
Yeah,
Um.
I
Yeah.
liked it, that joint.
Messiah Complex.
yeah.
Yeah. Messiah Complex. Second Coming. Revelations. Yeah, those are dope. I'm looking at the graphic novels, but yeah, those are some of the best. Those are some of the coolest Cable and Bishop stories too, because Bishop is chasing Cable, and Cable is got Hope, and he's body sliding through time, and Bishop is chasing him through time, and they keep, he's like right on his tail through time and shit, and he's chasing him because Bishop thinks, uh, wait, is he chasing?
Well, he's trying to. It's
It's
not.
it's either Bishop is chasing Cable and Hope, or Hope is chasing Bishop. I know it's Bishop is chasing Cable because he thinks he's trying to kill Hope or some shit. I forget. I forget exactly. I had to read it again, but it's been a while. But yeah, it's a dope Bishop and Cable story. Cable is
I
definitely
wonder
one
what
of
they're
my
gonna do
favorites.
with Mystique.
Mystique was a big part of the animated series.
Yeah, because
Um,
they thought she was
Yes, she
dead too.
was. Yes, she
When
was.
she fell into the thing with when that dam blew up,
uh,
and they thought she was dead. You know what I'm saying? She
yeah,
was. You know,
yeah,
Mystique is hard to kill.
Wait, in the movie
yeah.
or
Cartoon,
Animated
A
series.
cartoon.
they put
animated
that in the
series.
movie too? Then in X Men, no, no, no.
Mm.
Yeah, in X Men 2, didn't she die by the dam too?
Mystique.
You're thinking of that there is a big damn scene in X-Men. There is a big damn scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but that was the one with the Phoenix.
oh
We're
wait,
talking
no,
about
no. He's talking about, I think he's talking about the
Yeah, I
damn
thought that
flood bit.
Mystique. Yeah, I thought Mystique died, but they were in the Hoover Dam and they were trying
Yeah,
to save like the X Men, and they
yeah,
ended up blowing up the dam. And
yeah. And
but
like
I
it
thought
flooded.
Mystique died in that one.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Was that the Fox movie? Was that the Fox
That's
movie?
when
That wasn't.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos played
Mhm.
Mystique. Rebecca Romaine played Mystique at the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Speaking
sure
of
X-Men 2.
technovirus,
Remember the plane? Like it was a beautiful plane that they had, and they landed it on
Blackbird.
top of the water or something like that.
yeah, the
Uh,
Blackbird. Yeah, I know what he talking about. Don't forget, Rourke was infected by the technovirus as well. And
oh
he,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I got a comic where he was infected by it, and he wait because Rourke, like he gets hot, and like the more he fights and the more
Yeah.
he uses his powers, his strength,
Yeah.
he heats up.
He
So he
heats up.
heated his system up. He heated his system up and burned it out of his system. He got so hot that he
Mm,
burned it out of his system.
damn. Damn.
Yeah, yeah, because
The
Cable
techno
infected him with
organic virus. Wow.
Cable infected him with the techno organic virus. Yeah.
That'd be dope if yeah, that yeah. Be dope if they could get Rolk to help Cable.
That would be
So
dope.
what do y'all think? This X-Men 97. What storyline you really think they should attack? Because we already had the futures past and stuff like that. What do you think they really should really get into the next stage of it?
Oh, I would love to see Krakoa. I would love to see the House of X, Powers of X translated into animation.
Oh,
I
The
would love
current
to see.
that,
I would love to see Days of Future Past. I would love to
they
see
did
Days
that
of Future
already.
Past.
they did that there.
They
Man,
did that
no,
in the
not
first
Days.
show.
Not Days of Future. Yeah, the one with no. I'm talking Apocalypse Now. That's what I would like to see.
You mean
Apocalypse
Age of
Now.
Apocalypse?
Age of Apocalypse. Yes, that's what I would
Oh,
like to see.
well,
I would
they
love to see
touched
That
that,
would
on
be
it.
man.
Too.
I
crazy. That
love
would
that
be
story.
crazy.
I love that story. I still got all those comics. I bought them all one by one. I still have all of them
Yeah, that
back in
would
the
be
'90s when I
crazy.
bought them all. They were dope. Wow,
They
that was
touched
a
on
dope
the
story.
apocalypse a little bit, the age of it.
Apocalypse, but not Age of Apocalypse timeline. The
Okay,
Age of Apocalypse timeline was a whole different thing. It was almost like, like how the Ultimate Universe, there was like different versions. Wolverine had his one arm was chopped off.
oh
And
yeah,
remember that where everybody looked different and shit. Magneto had the long hair.
yeah, and
Scott
Scott,
had long
Scott,
hair.
yeah, Scott was part of Apocalypse
Yes.
squad. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole timeline that I don't recall ever being in animated series. That would be cool. Those are some cool timelines for that. But yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of, I just listen, the whole thing about this show, the X-Men the animated series, what made it great was that it was animating comic stories. It wasn't just making up stories for the show like a lot of cartoons do, like all these Marvel fucking cartoons do. That's why I don't like these shows. Like I don't like these kiddie cartoons that just make up storylines for every episode. Like, nah, bro. Animate the fucking comics. That's what we really want to see. That's why we love the animated series, whether you know it or not. Maybe you don't even read the comics. Maybe you have no idea that these are comic stories, but the reason they're good is because fucking comic writers wrote them, not TV writers,
Yeah,
not cartoon writers,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that's all that they have to do to make this show good, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is fucking adapt comic stories. If they do that,
Yeah,
With the movies, same thing they should do with the movies. Just
yeah,
read the fucking comics and just put it up there and do
all
the
you gotta do.
fantastical special effects you need. That's
or
That's
it.
do
it.
like they did with the first Ant-Man, or do like they did with the first Ant-Man movie. Have the Marvel writers write the story, and you just adapt the screenplay. Because they bragged
Yeah.
about that real hard about how that first Ant-Man movie was written by Marvel comic writers. They're like, oh, they wrote, and they just
Oh,
adapted it. I
really?
mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bragged. I read an article where they talked about that. They were like, the movie, the actual, because they were saying how giving the script to Hollywood, they couldn't come up with nothing. Like they
Yeah.
were like, oh, and they just kept it. Just wasn't interesting. So they gave it to the Marvel writers, and they gave them the template, wrote it,
Yeah.
and they just made it into a screenplay. That's why the first Ant-Man is so the Ant-Man is good. Like
Yeah, it
that
is.
joint is man. Yeah.
Well,
And
they
they
had
picked
to.
that's how they picked
They had to adapt.
who was gonna beat Ant-Man. That's how
They
they
had
picked
to
who was
do.
gonna beat
Yeah.
Ant-Man and everything.
Yeah. Exactly. That whole Hank Pym thing and having Michael Douglas old ass playing Hank Pym.
Yeah.
They
But-
propped his ass up, saying lines and shit.
But you know what,
Yeah,
what
'cause
was troublesome, even though they did that, what was troublesome was the Yellow Jacket part because remember, Hank Pym,
Yeah,
he Yellow Jacket.
bro, the whole thing was fucked up. But the thing was,
That's
is
what
that
I'm saying. Like,
comic writers wrote it, and so we look they do shit in the comic. You can't be too mad about people, about Marvel, about the MCU changing shit because comics change shit all the time.
all the
You know,
time.
the way
Yes.
certain shit, the new comics series, everything's fucking
oh yeah,
different.
the
They
Ultimates
change shit
alone,
all
yeah,
the time. Yes,
Ultimates alone, yeah,
all the time,
yeah.
all the fucking time. Every new run, some shit changes.
That's why you got alternate universes.
Right,
Hell
The
yeah, 'cause
but
when
ability.
you fucking with Tom, I don't know what the fuck you doing. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what we've been complaining about. That they keep trying to fix it and they just keep fucking it up. But just, and one of them I'm sorry, isn't one of those characters in goddamn it X-Men non-binary? Was that a thing in '97? Hell no. You ain't
Mm.
fixing it. You're like perpetuating this I wouldn't say it's a problem, but yeah, it wasn't a thing in '97. So how you call it X-Men '97? You got a non-binary character. That makes a lot of
But
sense.
okay. Well, the reason
I,
that no, let me take this one because
uh,
the reason it's called X-Men '97 is because that's the last year that the animated series ended.
mm,
But the non-binary thing, I mean, yeah, they're doing that, but see, the thing is, X-Men couldn't tackle those subjects back then, or like you just said,
It
Raw
didn't
Talk,
exist.
or like you just said, Bloodshed. That shit didn't exist, but non-binary wasn't a thing. But the X-Men have always been about, you know, sort of
Or
inclusion.
gender
dealing with those
euphoria. Yeah,
feeling.
gender
Yeah,
euphoria wasn't a thing in the '90s. It wasn't a thing.
no. But X-Men has always been about dealing with fringe people, right? Fringe
Yeah.
people, fringe cultures, fringe minorities, oppressed, whatever. So it's only natural for them to sort of do whatever's current and whatever's a contemporary issue because if it was if it was the new X-Men show talking about shit that was relevant
Nobody
back in
watching
the
that shit.
90s,
Nobody watching that shit.
shit that was
Nobody watching that
relevant.
for.
Mm.
I mean, if they're doing a show today about shit that was relevant in the 90s, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. It wouldn't be what X-Men is about. So it makes sense for them to do that. I mean, and there was a new there was a what do you call it? A profile in one of these magazines that X-Men 97, like a brief character profile given for several of the returning characters from the animated series. And one was the shapeshifter character Morph. And it was revealed that in this new show, it will feature a quote unquote lighter take on the character who is non-binary and has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine.
Mm.
End quote. But people, so
What kind of relationship?
well, basically, probably he becomes a woman and Wolverine. They probably get busy. I don't know.
Yo.
Who knows? But
So he's trans as well.
no, he's morph, so he's nothing.
He's
He's
morph.
not. He's
He's
no gender.
nothing. Yeah,
He's
he's no gender. He
non-binary.
has none.
He's
Oh, okay,
non-binary. He's not
okay.
male or female.
So he can
He
just
can be basically he can be whatever he want to be. If he wants to
Be
be a man,
whatever
he
he
can be.
wants. Yeah.
Like even when he's in his regular form, he has no
yeah.
nose, no nothing. Like he's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
I
Right.
know that guy.
yeah, like he has
He's just
no
like a
features, no
clay
facial
mold.
features.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
But
Now, if
I
you're talking
think
about Morph from the animated series, he had like a human face and everything. He had hair and the whole nine. But Morph from the comics has like a blank
Wolf was
white
always
face. It's like a
yeah.
blank solid face, no features, no nose, no eyes,
I
no
used to
teeth.
get him confused with what's his name from Spider-Man, the chameleon. There's a
Oh
chameleon,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I would get them confused a lot.
yeah.
But
They look similar. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I guess like we all gotta keep in mind that this cartoon is not for kids, really. It's for
But it's
us.
also really not for us. It's for a younger generation. It's not for us. It's not for 50-year-olds. It's really for the new generation.
No, I think it's for us. You know why?
Not. They
Because
don't
we
make
started.
anything for us
Oh
anymore.
well, they'll say it's not for us, but it's
They
aimed
have
towards us
their
because it's
target
our
demographic is always going to be 18 to 35.
yeah. But
The
it's
target
also,
demographic.
but you also got to think that who started with this X-Men animated series? It was us. It
Oh,
was
for
Yeah, it
shown to
sure.
was.
us.
Oh,
So if
definitely.
they're continuing it, it's definitely got to aim towards us, regardless.
It's gotta cater. It has to be. It has to do both. It has to do
Yeah,
both. It
yeah.
can't just be made for us.
Mm.
Nothing is just made for us
But
anymore.
just, but
Yeah.
we can also argue the point that even with today's modern toys, kids ain't into that. It started with us. We were the
Right.
That
experiment.
shit's for us. That shit's
Right.
for us. 90s were amazing. That shit is for us.
So with it going that route, like they can put up the moniker, oh, this is for 18 to 35, which they should change that shit totally, because at the end of the day, they're really catering to, we're their new version of our grandparents or parents, the people who have disposable income. The younger
Yeah.
generation don't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're
Man, fuck
struggling.
that, man. Even as a
You know what I mean?
kid, man, I was watching that shit.
But
So,
that was
Advisory. I ain't give a fuck. I'm like, yo, you gonna shield me from the real world?
so the subject matter shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean,
right.
even Morph being a non-binary shouldn't even trouble anybody.
It
You know what
makes
I'm
a lot of
saying?
sense.
No,
It
No, it
makes
should.
sense,
you know what I'm
It
and
saying?
should.
Right.
It
it
should.
makes a lot of
It
sense.
should. They
Yeah.
kids.
I mean,
They still
yeah,
kids, man.
him being
Even
non-binary
Todd got
doesn't
shit out.
mean it's not saying he's transgender. It's not saying he's LGBT. It's not saying he's
Oh,
anything. He's not. He's not a trans woman. He's not a trans man. He's
He could be anything. He
non-binary.
could
That
be
means he's
anything.
not. That means he's not male or female.
He
He's
could be
nothing.
anything. You don't know what the fuck he is. You don't know
but
what
him
that
messing
man
with
is.
Wolverine like that when you brought that up,
Yeah, I
that's
mean
Nah,
that.
that man,
That's
man,
just. I
man,
mean, we don't know.
Wolverine came
That's
out and just like
speculation.
I'm gay.
He
because they
said,
got a
Speculation. We
special
don't know.
relationship.
We don't know. We know
yeah,
something gonna go down.
we
He
We
know that
just
came out
there's
don't
an
and
know
he
what
said,
gonna go
yeah,
down.
he
interesting
doing
buddy
everything.
relationship. That's all
Yeah,
they
Right?
say.
interesting.
Buddy, really.
Yeah,
Hey, Morph.
buddy relationship. What kind
Hey,
of
Morph.
buddies?
Did you turn into Gene again?
Word.
Ah,
Yeah, turn into Gene for me one more time, Morph.
Yeah,
Hey,
just one more time. Just one more time.
Morph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gonna have
yeah.
Wolverine looking in the mirror at himself. Am I really?
He do
It's
the blank man. He turned into Gene and he do the blank man.
see,
Yeah.
people are taking it like he's this LGBTQ
Yeah.
guy who's
They,
identifying as non-binary. No, he's not a woman who's identifying as non-binary or a woman who's identifying as a man. He's literally non-binary.
yeah, he's the embodiment of that. Yeah.
Right. He was literally right. He's literally non-binary. So I know, like with people, oh, he's a trans man is a man, like a trans woman is a woman. Well, yeah, but really they're not. Really, that's a woman who's transformed into a man, right? Morph being non-binary, he was nothing. He's not. I mean, look at him. He has no fucking nose. He's got no face. He's nothing. He's not male. He's not female. He's not even fucking. You know what I mean? He's nothing unless he whatever he wants to become. So it's really cool for his character. Now, the character had never identified as non-binary in the original show. That is true.
No.
This is a new
Right.
thing, but it's a way to sort of tackle that. See, the way the X-Men always tackled their issues was they did it in a metaphorical way. Like they would tackle racism, but instead of black and white people, it was mutants and humans.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
so they tackle these issues, but they do it in a comic way, and make it sci-fi or make it cool or whatever, and that's cool. It's with the comics, it's with the cartoon, and it's also teased as well with the show that Morph's past with Mr. Sinister will come into play.
Yeah,
in
because he
some
brought
way.
him back from the dead.
Yes, and yes, remember that, and so that was some weird shit, and a shape-shifting mutant. His real name is Kevin Sidney. Morph has the ability to basically take the form of anyone. The character has transformed into male and female characters. In the original show, he became women, he became men. It was not he wasn't like a guy with a wig on. He literally became a woman, or he literally became a man. Like that's how he would literally transform. So he did have that ability in the cartoon. just like he does in the comic. Now, this sort of proved as a useful tool, as a member of the X-Men, obviously at the start of the series, which also we saw the death of Morph
Yeah.
in a battle against the Sentinels, right? The
Okay.
Sentinels killed Morph.
Mhm.
And fans will remember that how the character was revealed to have survived, having since become a villain with the guidance of Mr. Sinister. They made a dope action figure of the villain Morph that I have to get. He's got the bags under his eyes, like really, it's
Yeah.
fucking cool. Got to get that one. But yeah, so it's a cool version of Morph comes back and he's like back from the dead, kind of, but he's not, but
Mm.
the trauma from his sort of complicated past prevented the mutant from ever fully integrating back into the group. He never sort of became an X-Men again. But the showrunner said he really set the stakes and he had a very interesting relationship with the team because of the trauma. Talking about Morph, he said when he was doing the interview and shit. But Ron Rubin was the voice of Morph in the original series. Ron Rubin has returned for the new show, but in a different role. He's actually playing the president, Robert Edward Kelly.
Oh wow. Okay.
So the JP Carliak is taking over the voice for Morph in the new series. So it's weird. Some of the voice actors that were playing characters in the original show are coming back to this show, but they're actually playing different characters. He's not the only one.
What's that? Who's that Indian looking fellow in the right lower right?
Sunspot.
That's Sunspot? Okay, okay.
That's
Nice.
Sunspot.
All right.
Yeah.
Because he looks the way they threw me off.
Yeah,
Right.
Not to be confused with Sunfire.
Yeah,
No.
Sunfire is Japanese, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the new series picks up after the original show's finale, which had Professor X dying and his mutant family behind as he traveled to the Shi'ar homeworld with Lilandra. It was a very, very cocoon ending.
Yeah.
Some of you young kids don't know about the movie Cocoon, but yeah.
One
But
of my favorite
DeMeo,
movies, I might add.
yeah, Cocoon was that joint.
Yeah.
Cocoon was that joint. But DeMeo teased that the first season of X-Men '97, he said it's very much about what happens when the X-Men are faced with the future that they didn't expect. They didn't expect for Magneto to be their boss, and they didn't expect for Xavier to be, dead or missing or on another world or whatever. So everything's going to be a little different. I mean, how woke and foo-foo can it be when Magneto's the boss? Like, Magneto's the leader. Like, this shit's about to go down. I think it's gonna be a good show, man. But hey, I'll eat crow. If it's ass, I'll be the first one to be pissed the fuck off and talk about it. So,
Yeah.
But Morph was a cool character. His design in the comics is way cooler than it was in the original show, but I don't know. According to, I mean, that sort of design there, it's sort of I think this is from. Hang on, give me a new one. I think this is from Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse. The Morph right here. Let me try and get a little picture. Bink. Bink. There he is.
Oh yeah.
Or evil version, yeah. Got the
Yeah,
pirate blue sword.
that's just Morph. That's just Morph in the comics.
I think you got Morph in the action figure in the beginning inside of Deadpool's figures, because you would have Morph that with the pirate or that feather cap hat, the purple feather hat.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that one.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
because which quote would
Do
be
they
in
have
his
an action figure for that?
Hmm? Just the head.
Do they have an action
That
figure?
he-
Oh,
Who,
just the
me?
head. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it
No,
was
no.
just
Do
the
they
head.
have like a? Oh, just the head. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because let's see. It should be on. Yeah, because that morphed, that face. I was like, oh
In
snap.
like 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, in like 15 minutes, we gotta wrap it because I gotta get to the stove.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta get to the stove before they close.
For they
Same here.
close.
The corner store will close.
Did we close on you? Amigo?
Was that?
Cocoon 2 hit home. You thought 2 was better than 1?
Nah, I liked
I don't
one.
know.
One was I could watch
Cocoon,
two, but one was the joint. Cocoon
I'm
one was the
trying
joint.
to.
Two to me seemed like it was like it should have been part of one, and one should have been
Mm.
like an hour longer. But
See, I don't really
they
remember,
definitely
man. I don't really remember what happens in 1 and what happens in 2 like that.
remember they came. Remember in Cocoon two, they came back. They came back to Earth, and they just wanted to visit, like they was homesick. So they brought
Right.
them back, and they came back to pick up some more. But they wound up like kind of missing Earth.
Man, I
Like they
always
was
felt
like,
like
yo,
the
we kind
people
of.
that
And
they took
Oh,
remember
for
that
the
was
real.
morph.
I always felt they were
I did.
assholes, dog.
I would have stayed in outer space, man. I would have never came back to
I always felt they were assholes for that. Like, what are you doing? Like, these aliens then took you, they gave you this chance to have it, and you're just being
Yeah.
a dick, and you're being like hella fucking petty, man. I don't know. I would have been
Yeah.
more
Remember the
grateful.
one dude? Remember the one dude? He healed the girl. He gave her his life force, and
Yeah.
then the other couple got the woman got pregnant, and then they was like, we got to go back because we ain't gonna live long enough to see the child grow up and nothing. So we gotta. So like they had to leave with the alien, and then the other guy he
See.
stayed. Uh, what was the guy's name? He played in a lot of movies. I had the glasses, the heavyset guy.
Oh,
Him and his wife
Walter
stayed.
Wilford Brimley.
Walter. Yeah, yeah.
Wilford
Remember
Brimley.
they just
Yeah.
remember they decided to stay, and then the other lady
Check your
she
blood
went with
sugar,
him.
and you check it often.
Yeah,
Diabetes.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Cocoon too was just like them coming back. I think me personally, I think they should have never made it. It just didn't do nothing for the story, man. It should have just let that was a movie that didn't need a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up the rest of the Mutant Monday talking about Cocoon, but we we got some cool shit going on with Deadpool, Deadpool 3, Deadpool, what you call it? Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
But arriving just in time for Deadpool and Wolverine the movie, Marvel Comics has announced plans for a new series called Deadpool and Wolverine World War 3 or WW3, putting the spotlight on Wade Wilson and Logan. We had the trailer this week. We started off with Deadpool and Wolverine. We saw that last Monday, I think it was. But since then, Marvel Studios has announced the Fantastic Four cast, which is hella weird. Why is Pedro Pascal fucking Reed Richards? What? You're just doing that because Pedro Pascal is hot. Like, because he's hot right now. Because he's like
I
popular
don't
right
even
now.
say he's hot. I just think it's
He's
These
popular
days,
right now.
it's
he
part of
is.
that
I don't know about
contract.
He's
him playing.
popular.
Yeah, I don't know about him playing
He
Reed
doesn't
Richards,
fit Reed
man.
Richards.
Yeah, but
Nah, he
I'm
It
don't.
just
doesn't make
saying.
sense.
Me either.
I think they do that because he's in contract with them, and they have to give him a project under his contract.
They didn't
And if
have to
they
make
don't
him
have
Reed
anything
Richards though,
slate
dog.
for him, they place him into whatever.
Well, whatever it is, they doing it. They're not doing it because he makes a good Reed Richards. They're not doing it because he's a good casting. They're doing it for whatever reason that they have. Whether it's that reason that you said, Raw Talk, or whether it's because he's popular right now. Whatever it is,
Yeah,
it's not because he makes a good Reed Richards. So
no,
it's fucked up casting for
yeah,
whatever reason. But yeah, we shared the X-Men 97 sneak peek, a strong indication that we're on the cusp of entering a new era of storytelling with Marvel, characters once owned by 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
If only they could do the same with, the Sony characters, the Madam Web bullshit. My God, oh my
Oh,
I
bro,
haven't
they've been
seen it.
killing
God,
Madam Web. They've been killing Madam Web,
that
man.
movie was
Madam
ass.
Web, Madam Web can't. Yeah, Madam Web can't catch a break right now.
Have
They
y'all seen
just.
it?
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
I
I
mean, I
didn't go
saw
see
what I
it,
could.
man.
I can't sit through. I'm not watching every movie. If I'm done. I'm not wasting. I'm not wasting 2 hours of my life anymore on these fucking movies.
Mm,
Love and Thunder have not seen the whole thing. The Marvels have
mm,
not seen the whole thing. Eternals have not seen the whole thing. I'm not wasting my time. I'm
yeah.
watching like 20, 30 minutes of it, and this shit is ass. I'm turning it off.
Mm.
He better than me because if I can't get through the first 10 minutes, it's done. It's
I
a
mean,
wrap.
whatever. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I watch it
I've
all the
been
way
turned
through to
off
get
in a
my
matter of minutes, dog. It's taken. I've been turned off in less than 10 minutes, dog, before, but I think Love and Thunder, I got 20 minutes.
Now I watched the whole movie just to see the every
Can't
inconsistency, and because after a while I start getting
waste
into
my time.
mode of breaking shit down. I'll watch it for the fun, but then if it really gets corny, then I start looking for all the problems. Where
I mean,
Mm.
let me go on
if you
record,
got
the Marvels didn't give me any problems.
if you got time on your hands, that's something. No, that I mean, it's something to do. Hey, it's something to do. But then again, releasing all this new content has definitely overshadowed the critical and commercial flop of Madam Web. But today I think Marvel Comics has revealed the most intensely mismatched team up in comics and pop culture. The best there is, and the Merc with the mouth. Wolverine and Deadpool will undergo a radical change in this new. Uh, it's a 3-part
Mm.
globe-spanning saga. It's called Wolverine. It's called Deadpool and Wolverine WW3. Number one, set to hit stands this May. Joe Kelly is writing it. Um,
Mm.
the artist Adam Kubert is gonna do the art.
Hubert? Okay.
Yep. The mysterious Delta believes in change. Change is good, but as he sets his sights on Deadpool, and Wolverine is caught up in the plot, is the third time really the charm or the curse? We will see. But I think World War III will you know be a cool um lead up to the movie. I mean, it'd be something cool to get if you're in the mode. If you're having Deadpool and Wolverine fever, this will be a cool comic, cool little series that's new, something new coming out that's cool to check out. Um,
Mm.
I think Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert's a dope team up. Um,
Yeah.
and Joe Kelly said, there were so many factors that have made me say yes to writing this book. Adam Kubert was number one. I
Mm.
worked with Adam on my early Marvel career and have been a fan of his ever since, both as an artist and a human. So working with him again, no brainer. Yes, please. The second reason was Wolverine. As much as this is a buddy book, Logan is the entry point to the story, which gave me a chance to explore this character that I love, his voice, his perspective on the world. All of it gave a unique way to approach the epic team up. And then big number three, there's the body horror. He said, Deadpool and Wolverine together allow for a bloody playground of a story. So there'll be lots of violence and gore and shit like that. A tale of self-examination and introspection as told through the seriously jaw-dropping nastiness. Thanks to Adam Kubert's deft hands. This you got to see this cover, man. Hold on, let me show you guys this cover. It's fucking nuts. I gotta get that can.
He goes crazy with his covers, man. Adam Kubert, he ain't nobody to fuck with, man. He's dope. One of my favorites.
Yeah, he's nice with it. Really, really nice with it. Let me get
Shit
to
he does with Wolverine covers just phenomenal. Yo, especially the red and black.
Look at that.
Psst.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's dope.
Yeah, yeah. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
See what I'm saying? Dude is just crazy with it. Like he's very intense with his art, man. I like the how he the whole thing, man. Look at it, the detailing. Like, come on, man. This
But
should
yeah,
be.
Deadpool World War III, Deadpool Wolverine.
Might have to pick that up.
Definitely got to get this joint. Definitely,
When does
definitely
that
got to
come
get.
out? Yeah, that look dope.
This May,
May. Yeah, this May.
this May. All right,
Yeah, so this summer
just in
May.
time for the movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Yeah, okay, throw
Oh,
something
yeah.
out there.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Also, there's the giant size X-Men. That's coming out. The around that time too, around May. The Krakoan age that the mutants have been enjoying will begin wrapping up in May. And that includes the era's final installment of the Giant Size X-Men. Giant Size X-Men has been like a little um it's not a series, but every so often they've put out a Giant Size X-Men. It'll say Giant Size X-Men, it'll be like Magneto, or it'll be this or that or whatever, character or whatever. So each one has just sort of been like a one shot, right? They come out, they're a one shot, they've just come out. But this one will focus on Angel. Like each one is a different character, right? This one sort of focuses on Angel, and will introduce a brand new X-Men villain to the Marvel universe. Legendary writer Ann Noceti, who did Daredevil, Longshot, The Seeds, wrote the new story in Giant Size X-Men #1 with artwork by Lee Ferguson. And the new issue sort of pairs a new story set in the present day of the Marvel universe, with Warren Worthington III encountering an unfamiliar villain that we've not seen before, with a reprint of Mark Grinwald and Ralph Macchio and Ron Wilson's Angel, and the Things team up story from Marvel 2-in-1 number 68. Brian Hitch's cover for the issue is super dope, super like famous, but the story goes like, it says, a mysterious card has lured the dashing Warren Worthington III, aka Angel of the X-Men, to a quiet New York street where he will undergo a torturous trial unlike any he's ever faced before. A brand new villain is out for mankind and aims to start by knocking Angel out of the sky. And there's this dope cover with Archangel. Um,
Mm.
well, it's like a bunch of different versions of Angel, like all the different versions of Angel.
Okay.
But there's been a bunch. There's
I
been a
wonder why they
bunch.
never did a X-Men. I wonder why Legends never did Archangel. I've never seen one.
Oh yeah, they got one.
Or did they?
Oh yeah,
Would they? I've never
yeah.
seen.
There's
I've
there's
never
a,
seen one, man. And I like Archangel
Mhm.
because Marvel Legends.
But
I'm real selective about which ones I get, which ones I don't. And Archangel was
on
one I always
Marvel,
wanted.
They got Archangel, and they just put out a red suit Angel.
yeah.
That's pre. I just pre-ordered. Yeah. But
Really?
yeah, this is the cover. It's got the original Angel. Yeah, he's
You
I
got
have the arc.
you got to send me that link. You got to send me that link, sir, so I can get that. I need
oh
that
yeah.
Angel in my life.
Oh, I got you. It's dope too. It's dope. Got the red suit, wings and shit. But I do want to get an Archangel one, but they're fucking expensive, and I just haven't found one that I want to get.
Are they?
Uh,
Yeah, I gotta get
yeah,
one. I
yeah.
gotta get one too.
But yeah, man, this Archangel, or this rather this giant size X-Men Angel joint. The writer says, doing an X-Men tale set in the past is intriguing in that the story can drill deeper into a missed moment, like a behind the scenes, between the scenes extras reel. Uh, she said, between the scenes. But she recently has done shit like X-Men Legends and the Storm series. So she's been doing mutant stuff. I mean, X-Men Legends was a dope series where they did like classic stories that took place in the 80s and 90s and shit. But were written now. And then the Storm series, where it's just the Storm, it's her own comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she said for those stories that you can give fans, she said for those stories you can give deep fans a deeper dive into the X-Men historical highlight. That said, it feels great to write a present day tale. So, dope author. But if you've been fucking with the giant size X-Men, you got to add this one to your collection, of course.
Right.
But May 8th is when it comes out. So
Yeah, that should be free comic book day.
Yeah.
'Cause,
yeah,
first,
yeah,
that's around free comic book day. Cause
something around there.
yeah.
Well, y'all, that's been Mutant Monday, our first Mutant Monday. We definitely gonna do this again because we've only cracked the surface of the mutants. So much more to do. But yeah, y'all, we
talk about yeah.
oh yeah,
Like we can,
it's
yeah.
it's
We
way more.
still haven't talked about. Yeah, we still haven't talked about Mr. Sinister and why he created the techno virus, which we know is to kill Apocalypse. So that's a whole nother story.
He didn't create it, but
And
all
once
right.
Apocalypse, and then once Apocalypse
Also,
got his
If he killed him, why
also
he
we
keep
gotta
Superman? Fuck that nigga.
what? Oh,
What'd you say, Bloodshed?
Man, yo, that's why people started escaping at first. There's a difference between captivity and a purpose. There's a difference between experimentation and finding a cure. And after he killed him, man, and then fucking kept experimenting, man. Evil is evil, man. Sometimes it starts with a purpose and then you just go too fucking far, all right?
Nathaniel
So you
Essex.
find a cure, and then why you got to keep breaking something that you didn't already fix? That's not that's a different kind of experiment, man. You know what I'm saying? So like fuck Mr. Sinister, man. He ain't do this. Like we ain't
and
gotta talk about that nigga, man. I
That's
don't
why
fuck
they
with
call
Mr.
him the
Sinister.
Sinister.
that's why he's sinister.
That is
Yeah.
not a
That's
kryptonite.
why
That
Mr.
motherfucker is
Sinister.
sinister. Sinister
But we can
High.
also go into the thing as far as G.I. Joe having mutants in it too.
What, like Cobra
Yeah.
Lodge?
No, not Cobra Lodge. Zartan, Xandar, and Zaran.
Oh wow, yeah. That'd be dope. That's some dope shit.
Yeah, they're mutants. They're classified, and they were part of Marvel first, right?
Yeah, that's true. They were in Marvel.
So that'd be dope.
Hey,
That's the guy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having that one. I wouldn't mind having that version of Magneto either. Oh, white John.
Yeah. That's a dope poster too. I gotta.
Oh hell yeah!
Get that. That's sick right there. The Brotherhood and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Magneto was right all along. All right, y'all.
And so was Thanos.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We're gonna do.
So
but it's like this though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
And with that, y'all, we out.
You fucking with me with the fedoras. That's fucked up.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Hey, bye, y'all, man. Just an area. Yo.